Good morning, class. Yesterday I told you that be ready from tomorrow with your course book and your pencil. I think that you all get ready with the course book and pencil. So today I'm going to start my first chapter of course book. That is When I Heard the Learned Astronomer. This is your poem, okay, students? And the poet of this poem is Walt Whitman. I think you all know about learned. Learned means well educated. An astronomer means a scientist. See the meaning. Astronomer means a scientist who studies stars, moons, planets, and other objects in space. Okay? And what does learned means? Learned means well educated. The name of the poet is Walt Whitman. Okay? So, students, first of all, we have to know about the poet. So, Walt Whitman worked as a journalist, a teacher, and a government clerk. His major work, Leaves of Grass, was a volume of poems that he kept adding to throughout his life. His style broke away from conventional poetry, and some of his poems seem very close to prose in their style. The poet Walt Whitman wrote in free verse, and although he did not invent it, he is known as the father of free verse. Walt Whitman continues to be one of the most influential American poets. Okay, students. So now I'm going to explain you the poem. Okay. So when I heard the learned astronomer, in this poem, three persons are there. Okay. First is poet, second is the speaker, and third is the audience. Okay, students. If you don't understand, you can ask me again. Okay. So the in this poem, the three characters are there. First is the poet, second is the speaker, and the third is the audience. So now I'm going to explain you the this poem. First of all, I will have to read the four lines. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I sitting heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room. That means in this speech of the astronomer and the speaker is also there. Okay, this when the speech is going on, the astronomer and the speaker and the audience, all of them are in a single lecture room. The speaker did not like the speech of astronomer. Why? Because the astronomer always use the language of the books. Okay, students. So this is the main theme of the poem, that astronomer, the famous astronomer, always used the famous charts and tools and measures the things from the book. But the speaker did not like the language of the book. The speaker always like to get knowledge from personal experience, practical experience. Okay, so this is the theme of your poem. So I'm proceed to the next next explanation, that the speaker is saying that he is sitting in lecture room where the famous astronomer is giving lecture regarding stars, moons, planets, and the speaker tell that he heard about the evidence about star, moons, planets through figures and columns before of the speaker as well as audience, as he suppose that he is the speaker. As the speaker supposed to analytical the evidence of stars mathematically, he used various mathematical tools to discuss about stars. What are the mathematical tools? Those mathematical tools are named as diagrams, charts, add, divide, and measurements. And they are used by a famous astronomer to prove the evidence of the stars and moons. Everybody, including audience and the speaker didn't like the lecture of the astronomer, but the audience was enjoying the lecture of the learned astronomer. They will continuously clapping and applauding the astronomer speech, but the speaker get bored. The speaker gets very tired when the famous astronomer giving the speech. After listening of the astronomer's words, how did the speaker get enjoyed? Because when the speaker listened the speech of the astronomer, he get bored and tired. He did not like these mathematical tools and divide and charts and etc etc, because he only knows the practical experience. He want to get knowledge with practical experience rather than bookish knowledge. So, how did the speaker get enjoyed and feel fresh by watching the rising and gliding out the stars? Now, I am going to read the next four line of the poem. How soon uncountable I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. That means, how did the speaker get inspired and get knowledge and also get interest by the for these stars and moons and planets? Now listen. When the speaker went outside and looked up at the sky, what he saw? The rising and gliding out the mystical or fascinating moist night air, and also enjoyed the perfect silence of the stars. Understand, students? He did not enjoy or any interest to listen the lecture of the astronomer. Therefore, the speaker glides out and looking at this mystical, moist, and fascinating night, then only he got get experience as well as knowledge, because when the speaker wanders away from the lecture room, he looks up the sky and finally recognizes the magic of the stars, that stars are so beautiful, sprinkling and shining. The speaker was not enjoying the lecture of the astronomer. That is why he came outside from the lecture room with the astronomer giving the lecture, and he got experienced with seeing the perfect silence of the stars at the sky. Okay, so there are two things, students. What that as first is astronomer is giving the lecture using mathematical tools such as figures, charts, diagrams, add, divide, and measurement. But this and the second thing is the speaker wants those knowledge by practical experience. So there are two things. You can note it down in your rough copy also, that there are two things. First is wisdom, and second one is knowledge. Wisdom is also get knowledgeable person, and knowledge is also we can use in as knowledgeable person, but wisdom defines where the knowledge we get from the books, like astronomer did in this poem. But what the speaker did, that he wants to get knowledge by his own experience. So I think, students, you all clearly understand this poem, that Astronomer always used the tools, the mathematical tools, by using addition, subtraction, division, and charts and measurement. But the speaker get bored when the famous astronomer giving the lecture in the lecture room, but the audience continuously clapping and applauding the astronomer. But the speaker didn't want to interest in any interest by listening the speech of the astronomer. Okay, after that he just came out from the lecture room and look up the sky and get the experience of the stars. The stars are so beautiful and perfectly silent when the night came. Okay, students. So I think that you all get understand this poem's meaning clearly. So this is your classwork that you have to listen the poem explanation if you want to listen again and again. And your homework is you have to put today's date, that is 13/5/2020, and put the name of the poem. And after that you have to write the poet's name, that is Walt Whitman, and you have to copy down the poem, okay, in your course copy. After that, tomorrow again you have to sit with your course book, pen, pencil, and course copy. Okay, students. So if you have any problem, you can ask me regarding explanation. Thank you, class.